Osaka, 1604. Rain had just stopped, but the dojo still smelled like wet wood and iron. A 19-year-old student named Tetsu stood barefoot on the training floor, breathing hard. Not the normal kind of tired, not the honest fatigue that comes after effort. This was different. He was tired when he woke up, tired when he ate, tired even after a full night of sleep, and it terrified him. Because Tetsu wasn't lazy. He was doing everything right. He trained early. He trained late. He followed rules. He chased discipline like it was salvation. And yet his body felt hollow, like a lamp that kept burning but never held warmth. That afternoon, during sparring, he lost badly. Not from injury, not from weakness. He simply emptied out. He sat on the floor, chest rising and falling, staring at his own hands as if they belonged to someone else. Master Yamamoto watched him. No scolding, no disappointment, only silence. Then the master turned and walked toward the garden, and without thinking, Tetsu followed. The stones you don't see. Outside, the garden was quiet. Moss clung to the rocks. Water dripped from the bamboo. Somewhere in the cedars, a bird called once, then stopped. Master Yamamoto bent down, picked up a small stone, and placed it into Tetsu's palms. It was cold, not just cool, cold, like it had slept inside the earth for 100 years. "Hold it," the master said. Tetsu nodded. The stone was light. Master Yamamoto placed a second stone on top. This one was damp. It left a dark stain on Tetsu's skin. "Every time you train to prove something," the master said, "that is a stone." A third stone. The edge was sharp enough to bite. "Every time you compare yourself," another. A fourth stone. "Every time you chase perfection," another. Tetsu's fingers purled automatically, trying not to drop them. His arms didn't hurt yet, but his hands began to feel trapped, not crushed, just unable to relax. Master Yamamoto watched his student's knuckles turning white. "You think your exhaustion comes from your muscles," he said. Tetsu swallowed. "Doesn't it?" The master shook his head. "No. It comes from what you carry while you move." Tetsu stared at the stones. They weren't heavy because of their weight. They were heavy because they demanded constant tension. The master continued, slowly, like carving words into wood. "You have heard of Miyamoto Musashi." Tetsu looked up immediately. Everyone had heard of Mousashi, a swordsman who survived duel after duel, a man who fought to the edge of death and kept walking, a man who also painted, wrote, and sat in caves with nothing but silence. Tetsu asked, was he simply stronger than everyone else? Master Yamamoto's eyes stayed calm. "No," he said. "He was lighter. And most people do not know what makes a person heavy." Dokudo. Walk straight, carry less. The next morning, the master took Tetsu to the storage room. The air inside smelled of straw, old cloth, and metal oil. Master Yamamoto pointed to the shelves. "Choose what you would take if you had to live in the mountains for 1 year." Tetsu began gathering. 2 sets of clothes, a spare blade, extra sandals, tools, rope, small just-in-case comforts. A pile formed quickly, because fear loves preparation. The master watched without comment. Then he walked to a corner and lifted a much smaller bundle. 1 sword, 1 set of clothes, 1 blanket, 1 bowl. "That was Musashi's choice," Master Yamamoto said. Tetsu frowned. "That's not enough." The master nodded. That is the first illusion. He stepped closer. Dokudo does not mean loneliness. It means walking your road without carrying the expectations of others. Musashi didn't live simply to suffer. He lived simply so his energy wouldn't leak into useless places. Places like being offended, being admired, being seen as perfect, winning in someone else's eyes, wearing a role you didn't choose. The master looked at Tetsu's large pile. You are exhausted, he said, because you are never just training. Tetsu's throat tightened. Then what am I doing? The master replied without anger. You are performing. Week 1. Seeing the Mask. For the first week, Tetsu began noticing something unpleasant. Every action had a second audience. He trained to be approved. He sparred to be superior. He meditated to be a true samurai. Even when he was alone, he was still trying to impress someone. He was fighting battles in his head while fighting on the floor. 2 wars at once, and the mind can't do that forever without breaking. Week 2. One thing, one breath. On the second week, Master Yamamoto gave one command. Train, only train. Eat, only eat. Walk, only walk. No commentary, no inner narrator, no rehearsal of the future. At first, it made Tetsu restless. His mind screamed like a monkey in a cage. But then, something opened. A gap. A quiet. Like a wind that finally stopped slamming the door. For the first time in years, his head had a moment where it did not demand anything. Week 3. When comparison dies. On the third week, the master ordered blindfold sparring. Tetsu tied the cloth over his eyes. He could not see Hiroshi. He could not see the master. He could not see victory or defeat. He could only feel movement. The sound of breath, the shift of weight, the whisper of fabric. And something strange happened. Without the ability to compare, his energy stopped leaking. He was no longer fighting an image. He was only meeting reality. Week 4. Ordinary mind. On the fourth week, Tetsu woke up differently. Not excited, not depressed, not hungry for proof, just awake. His body felt quiet. His breath felt honest. His thoughts did not race ahead like soldiers. Master Yamamoto called it ordinary mind. When you do not add weight to the action, he said, the action stops draining you. The duel, 1 man versus 3. Months later, Tetsu fought Hiroshi again. The rain had stopped, but the ground outside the dojo still held dampness like memory. The match began. Hiroshi moved fast, too fast. His eyes kept flicking sideways toward Master Yamamoto like he was checking a mirror. Am I impressive? Am I correct? Am I winning? His jaw clenched, his shoulders lifted, his breath became loud. Hiroshi wasn't fighting one opponent, he was fighting 3. Tetsu, the master's judgment, and the voice inside his own skull. Tetsu fought only what was in front of him, no extra battle, no second stage. 7 minutes later, Hiroshi's body was still strong, but his spirit was bleeding out through every tense movement. Hiroshi stepped back, chest heaving, face tight with anger that was really fear. Tetsu stood quietly, not proud, just present, and that was the victory. Later that night, Tetsu sat alone in the garden. Mist drifted between stones. Water clicked softly from the bamboo spout. He thought of the rocks in his hands months ago. He finally understood. Energy does not disappear only from hard work. Energy disappears from leakage, from effort plus performance, from action plus self-judgment, from walking forward while dragging a ghost behind you. And the ghost has many names: perfect, better, approved, enough. Master Yamamoto's voice returned to him like a blade sliding back into its sheath. You don't need more discipline, it seemed to say. You need fewer stones. So here is the question Musashi would ask you without mercy. What are you carrying in your mind that has nothing to do with the road in front of you? Musashi didn't walk lightly because he was magic. He walked lightly because he left everything else at the gate.